fantastic to see so many people out here to march in march against this terrible government, this worst government ever. I've come to think of Tony Abbott as a sort of cross between Vladimir Putin and George W. Bush. The swaggering, budgie smuggling, shirtless, aggro, wall-punching action he-man, combined with the winking, blinking suppository of all wisdom, Minister for Women and Prime Minister for Indigenous Affairs, who lectured G20 leaders on the GP co-payment and thought it was a great captain's call to knight the Queen's husband, Prince Philip, on Australia Day. This Prime Minister has managed to offend nearly everyone, whether it's Scottish people daring to vote for independence, Irish people celebrating St Pat's Day, Greek people derided for the deficits, Jewish people hurt by gratuitous Nazi and Holocaust references in question time, women who are apparently permanently stuck in the 1950s at home ironing and paying electricity bills, Muslim leaders condemning terrorism who don't really mean it, Indigenous Australians who must be very confused because the Prime Minister has said previously that only Aboriginal people living in remote areas are authentic. But now it's a lifestyle choice. At the same time as he cuts $500 million from Indigenous Affairs. Way to close the gap, Prime Minister. This is the infrastructure Prime Minister who doesn't believe in trains or Australian manufacturing or renewable energy technology, who thinks that climate change is crap, whose government has sacked 1,200 CSIRO scientists, threatened the jobs of 1,700 more researchers if their university deregulation doesn't go through. This is a government that signed a uranium treaty with India that significantly lowers nuclear safeguards. A government that negotiates free trade agreements and this dreadful Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement that's being featured over here that will put Australian jobs at risk and threaten our sovereignty. This is a government that has dramatically expanded live export markets to countries where they don't even respect human rights, let alone animal rights, and where gross violations of the current system are being completely ignored. Mirroring what we can see at the state level on animal welfare, well, we know that the current state government appears to think that recreational hunting on Crown land would be okay. No way. This is a government that is tough on terrorism and refugees while cutting more than $7 billion from foreign aid that would address some of the root causes: disadvantage, discrimination and despair. And they're sending Australian troops again to a war in Iraq because that worked out so well last time, which will only make Australians everywhere less safe and boost the Islamic State recruitment drive. Now, Tony Abbott may or may not survive as Prime Minister, but these policies belong to all of the members of the so-called Liberal Party. Whoever is the leader, we need to look at their policies. Do they still ignore the existential crisis of global warming? Are they still trying to dismantle the world's largest network of marine sanctuaries that the former Labor government put in place? Are they still banging the drum of national security and border protection as a cover to deny accountability in government, to persecute vulnerable people, and to take away more of our rights and freedoms? Are public health and education, science, fair working conditions, pensioners, students, the unemployed, low-income earners, people with disabilities, Indigenous Australians, homeless Australians, refugees, the global poor, animal welfare, respect for the UN and the environment, are all of these still expendable under whoever is leading the government? Those are the important questions. I want to thank all of you for coming out today and showing what Australians really think of this hypocritical, shambolic, cruel, cigar-munching embarrassment of a government. Thank you all.